Good morning, students. In previous class, we have seen what about colloids classification. Okay, total three types of classifications we have seen, depending on different characteristics. In yesterday's class, we have seen that classification 3. Okay, that classification 3, depending on the types of particles of the dispersed phase. Depending on the types of particles of the dispersed phase, colloids are classified into three types. What are those? Micromolecular, multimolecular colloids, macromolecular colloids, and associated colloids. Out of these three, associated colloids will be very important in that some temperature and concentration conditions are there. Those two definitions are Kraft temperature and critical missile concentration. Okay, Kraft temperature is represented by Tk, and critical missile concentration in short term we will say that one as CMC. Okay, like this we have seen yesterday. What is meant by the critical missile concentration? The minimum concentration required by the colloid means the required concentration, the minimum concentration required by the solution to be getting like a colloidal solution is called critical missile concentration. Above that concentration only, association will be happen to form missile. Okay, then yesterday what is the mechanism also we have seen. Even cleansing action of soap also we have seen. Okay, Kraft temperature, that is the minimum temperature required. Same again, let us see the definition once again. These are also known as associated colloids. The formation of missile takes place only above a particular temperature. This is the minimum temperature above which association can be happened. That is called Kraft temperature. Kraft temperature is represented by Tk. Like that, yesterday we have seen what about the clear explanation regarding the mechanism also. And today's class we will start with preparation of colloids. So our next heading is preparation of colloids. How we can prepare the colloids, that is the thing. First preparation. Okay, a few important methods for the preparation of colloids are as follows. A. Chemical methods. Chemical methods means by using chemical reactions. Okay, A. Chemical methods, that is by using chemical reactions, how we are going to prepare the colloids. Colloidal dispersions can be prepared by chemical reactions. Colloidal dispersions can be prepared by chemical reactions leading to formation of molecules by double decomposition, oxidation, reduction, or hydrolysis. Any one method. Double decomposition, that one clearly at the time of reactions we will see. Okay. Oxidation, reduction, or hydrolysis. These molecules then aggregate. Aggregate means again combine. See, every time first small particles will be formed. Those small particles will be combined. Some group of particles will be combined to form in the size of colloidal particle. Because two solution particles are very small, colloidal particles are big. Okay, to form the colloidal particle size, definitely these small sized particles should be aggregated. Aggregated means coming together. Okay, aggregate leading to formation of salts. First example, As2O3 plus 3H2S. Arsenic oxide. As2O3 plus 3H2S gives rise to As2S3 plus 3H2O. As2S3 plus 3H2O. Mechanism, actually 1 minute. This As2S3 is in the size of colloidal particle dispersed in water. This As2S3 is in the size of colloidal particle dispersed in water. Here this is the dispersion medium, this is the dispersed phase. Okay, now coming to this, this is called double decomposition. Why it is double decomposition? Observe here. In As2O3, oxygens are there. Those oxygens are going to displace sulfur. At the same time, it is appeared as sulfur is going to displace oxygen. This oxygen is going to displace sulfur. Immediately that sulfur is going to displace oxygen. Or this is double displacement. Here one displacement, another one. Double displacement reactions are also called double decomposition. Okay, why it is also double decomposition? See, AS2S3, AS2O3 is converted to AS plus 3 ions and O minus 2 ions. This is one decomposition. Next, H2S is converted to H plus and S minus 2. This is another decomposition. Two decompositions are taken place. Decomposition means one particle is converted to two or more particles. One substance is converted to two or more particles is called decomposition. This is one decomposition and this is another decomposition. After this one, this O minus and H plus will be combined to form H2O. AS plus 3 and S minus 2 will be combined to form AS2S3. Okay, same displacement, double displacement or double decomposition, both are same only. Double displacement or double decomposition, both are same only. Okay, that much important. It is not that much important actually, but this double decomposition reaction already in our earlier classes you have seen the definition also. Anyways, it is completed. This is first reaction by using double decomposition. Next, second reaction, SO2 plus 2H2S. SO2 plus 2H2S will give 3S plus 2H2O. This 3S is there na. This is in the size of colloidal particle which is dispersed in water. This is Sol. Sulfur particles, that 3 moles of sulfur will be behaving like a colloidal particle. It is dispersed in water, that is behaving like a colloidal solution. Okay, now SO2 plus 2H2S gives rise to 3S plus 2H2O. Oxidation state of sulfur here is plus 4. Because oxygen minus 2, 2 into minus 2 minus 4, sulfur plus 4. Sulfur plus 4 is becoming 0. Reduction. But they give oxidation 1 minute. Here sulfur oxidation state is minus 2. Here this is 0. Minus 2 to 0, increase in oxidation number. Sulfur is undergoing both oxidation and reduction actually. Here sulfur plus 4 to 0. Here minus 2 to 0. This is undergoing oxidation, this one is undergoing reduction. But they mentioned on bracket it has oxidation only. Because I think they considered with respect to H2S. They considered with respect to H2S and they termed it as oxidation. Okay, so first one double decomposition, second one oxidation, third one 2AuCl3 plus 3HCHO plus 3H2O gives rise to 2Au. It is behaving like colloidal particle plus 3HCOOH plus HCl, 6HCl. This is example for reduction reaction. See, gold in AuCl3 oxidation state is plus 3. In Au elementary state 0. Plus 3 to 0 decrease in oxidation number. plus 3 to 0, it is decrease in oxidation number. This is reduction. If there is decrease in oxidation number, that process is called reduction. If there is increase in oxidation number, that process is called oxidation. Okay, this oxidation number concept, what is that oxidation reduction? Next, this is in this topic that much important, it is not that much important, but next, before starting the P block elements, I will teach for you once again. So because in P block, D and W block elements, they are useful. Oxidation reduction as well as oxidation number concept. Okay, both of them I will teach before starting the P block elements. Here this is simple thing only. At the time, if you go through these reactions, you will feel easy, no problem at all. If you are not able to be aware with the oxidation number concept. Okay, now what happened to AU here? In AuCl3, oxidation number of AU is plus 3, because chlorine minus 1, 3 into minus 1 minus 3, it should be plus 3. Plus 3 is becoming 0. Decrease in oxidation number. Decrease in oxidation number is called reduction. Okay, and one more reaction, FeCl3 plus 3H2O gives rise to FeOH thrice. This is Sol mass plus 3HCl. This is the action of water onto FeCl3. Action of water onto FeCl3. That process is called hydrolysis. So, in every reaction, the resultant is colloidal particle dispersed in solvent. That is dispersion medium. In every chemical reaction, the resultant is colloidal particles dispersed in solvent, that is dispersion medium. One small thing is, these chemical reactions to prepare colloids, it is not that much important. Okay, here names, by using names we have some process now. Bradig's arc method, like that dialysis in purification, like that some names processes are there. Those are somewhat important, but these chemical reactions will not be. But we have to practice, that is the thing, definitely, because if they give by mistakenly, we have to be in a position to answer that one. Okay, so first, under preparation of colloids, first one, chemical methods. So these are all involved with chemical reactions. So by using different chemical reactions, we can prepare colloids. What are the chemical reactions we have used here? Double decomposition reaction, oxidation reaction, reduction reaction, hydrolysis. Okay, here with respect to H2S, sulfur in this H2S is -2. Here it is elementary state, 0. From -2 to 0, what happened to oxidation number? Increases. Increase in oxidation number is called oxidation. With respect to H2S, they gave it as oxidation. Here gold. Here Sol is formed as gold only. Gold in AuCl3 it is present as +3. That +3 is becoming 0. Decrease in oxidation number, 3 to 0. Decrease in oxidation number is called reduction. So this process they gave it as reduction. Action of water on FeCl3. Action of water is called hydrolysis. Okay, and this process is called hydrolysis. So by using chemical methods, by using like this, we can prepare the colloidal solutions. Okay, I hope you understood. First one, chemical methods. Next we can go through, before going to that one, I hope you are clear about this one. Observe the chemical reactions now once on the board. Next, B. Electrical disintegration or Bradig's arc method. Electrical disintegration or Bradig's arc method. That is the second one, B. First we have seen chemical methods. All the four chemical methods will be coming under one side heading only, that is chemical methods only. Second one we kept electrical disintegration or Bradig's arc method. Let us see. This process involves dispersion as well as condensation. Colloidal salts of metals such as gold, silver, platinum. Colloidal salts of metals such as gold, silver, platinum, etc. can be prepared by this method. Gold, silver, platinum colloidal solutions can be prepared by this method. Okay. Electric arc is struck between electrodes of the metal immersed in the dispersion medium. The intense heat produced vaporizes the metal, which then condenses to form particles of colloidal size. It is simple only. Let us see here. This is the equipment we have, in which this is ice bath. This full lined region is ice bath. Here we are going to take dispersion medium. And suppose we want to prepare gold colloidal solution. These electrodes are prepared by gold. Electrodes means metals. This rod and this rod will be prepared by gold. This is connected to negative terminal of the battery, and this is connected to positive terminal of the battery. This is behaving like negative charge electrode, and this is behaving like positive charge electrode. And at once if you switch on the battery, electricity will be flowing through the metal rods, which gives intense heat. Because of that electrical energy, heat energy will be developed. Because of that heat energy, okay, the gold particles which are present in solid state is vaporized. This electrode contains gold atoms, gold particles. Those gold particles, some group of gold particles, okay, will be vaporized. Vaporized means changed into gaseous state, like this. The gold particles which are present in the electrode, because of the intense heat produced by the electrical energy, they are converted to vapor state directly. Okay, very high heat, automatically it will reach the boiling point of gold. Because of that, directly it is converted to gaseous state. But at once if it is converted to gaseous state, it will come into dispersion medium. No longer it is present in the solid state. It will come into dispersion medium. The dispersion medium is in contact with ice bath. Immediately that vapor is again getting cooled because of this ice bath. Immediately that vapor again it is getting cooled, changed to solid. Okay, that change to solid particle will be formed. That particle is in the range of colloidal particle range. All vapors which are in gaseous state, suddenly if they enter into the dispersion medium, but the dispersion medium is in contact with ice bath, so immediately they will be converted to solid state again. In the size of colloidal particle they will be formed. Automatically dispersion medium is there. Into the dispersion medium these are all dispersed, and they are behaving like dispersed phase. Okay, dispersed phase in dispersion medium will give solution, colloidal solution. Gold solution is prepared. Gold colloidal solution. Like this, if you want to prepare silver colloidal solution, we will replace these electrodes with silver metal. If you want to prepare platinum, According to that, we will take this platinum electrodes. Okay, so which colloidal solution we are going to prepare? That colloidal solution metal rods will be taken as electrodes. Okay, this is Bredig arcs method, Bredig's arc method, which is important, man. You can take this one as important, no problem. Electrical disintegration. What is that? Electrical disintegration. That is, because of electrical energy, heat energy will be generated. That heat energy causes that metal to be converted from solid state to gaseous state. But that gaseous state vapors enter into that dispersion medium, na? Okay, the dispersion medium as it is in contact with ice bath, immediately that vapors will be converted to solid state. That solid state particles are in the range of colloidal particles, and it is prepared as gold sol. Okay, in that way we can prepare by using electrical energy, which is called Bredig's arc method. Okay, this is about second one, that is B, electrical disintegration or Bredig's arc method. See the third one, all of you. So what is the first one? We have seen chemical methods. Second one, electrical disintegration or Bredig's arc method. This process involves dispersion. Okay, I have read already. Next, see peptidization. We will see that peptidization. Okay, let us see. Peptidization may be defined as the process of converting a precipitate into colloidal sol. Actually here, main thing is we have to observe, we can convert true solution into colloidal solution, or we can convert suspension into colloidal solution. Suppose we want to convert true solution into colloidal solution. What should be happen? That small particles are there, na, should be associated to form like a big particle. That means aggregation must be formed. Means all the particles, means at least 50 to 100 particles, they will come together and they will form like one big sized particle, which is in the range of colloidal particle. Correct? Same like that. If you want to convert reverse suspension to colloidal solution, suspension is precipitate is formed below. Clearly two layers will be observed. In suspension, two layers will be observed. So precipitate is clearly observed in the bottom and remaining liquid will be present. Correct or not? Then what should be done? That precipitate, if you made into small particles, that small particles will be going through all the solution and it will become colloidal solution. Because colloidal solutions are in the range of in between true solution and suspension. So if you want to make true solution to colloidal solution, we have to aggregate the true solution particles. If you want to make suspension to colloidal solution, we have to break that precipitate or suspended particles. Okay, if you break that one, then they will be converted to small particles and they will be dispersed. Okay, that is the thing here which is going to happen in peptidization. That is, peptidization may be defined as the process of converting a precipitate into colloidal sol. Suppose like this one solution we have. Here entirely it is contained by precipitate here only. Remaining fully it is only solvent. This is only solute. That is called suspension. What we are going to do, this is heavy and it is settled at the bottom. We are going to make this one into small particles. We are going to break this one into small particles. That suitable techniques will be there. Okay, now see continuation. The peptidization may be defined as the process of converting a precipitate into colloidal sol by shaking it with dispersion medium in the presence of a small amount of electrolyte. So electrolyte like NaCl. small amount of NaCl is added to this one. He is behaving like electrolyte. Electrolyte is nothing but good conductor of electricity in solution. That is the meaning. Okay. The small amount of electrolyte is added to this one. Then what it will do? Na plus particles and Cl minus particles will be settled onto suspension, and they will make that suspension to be separated. By the process of adsorption only. By the process of adsorption. Suppose this is totally suspension, solid. Na plus particles are going to first be adsorbed onto surface. Like this. Slowly what they will do, we have seen that cleansing action of soap. First they will be settled on the dirt. After that, the dirt will be made into small particles. Correct or not? Like that here also. Slowly one small particle from here will come out, and it is surrounded by Na plus like this. Next, from here one more small particle will come out, and it is surrounded by Na plus or Cl minus. That is depending on preferential adsorption. Next classes we will get more. Okay, see, this is in the range of colloidal particle, this is in the range of colloidal particle. Previous one is very heavy one, suspension. This is in the range of colloidal particle, and this is in the range of colloidal particle. Again they will not combine with each other, because this one will be contained by same charge with same this one. So again they will not. So in the presence of small amount of electrolyte like NaCl or any other thing, this suspension is made into colloidal particle. So what we are going to do, that suspension is added with little amount of electrolyte, and we are going to shake that one. Because of the shaking, this suspension small particles will be adsorbed by that electrolyte, and they will be remained as in the range of colloidal sized particle. Okay, the reagent which we are adding from outside is called peptizing agent, and this process is called peptization. The reagent which is added from outside is called peptizing agent. Okay, and this process is called peptization. Now I will complete this one. See, peptization may be defined as the process of converting a precipitate into colloidal solid. Okay, by shaking it with dispersion medium in the presence of a small amount of electrolyte. The electrolyte used for this purpose is called peptizing agent. This is called the electrolyte which is used for this purpose is called peptizing agent. Okay, this method is applied generally to convert a freshly prepared precipitate into a colloidal solid. This is precipitate, previously I have shown, is converted into colloidal solid. During peptization, the precipitate adsorbs. Now you will get clarity. See here. During peptization, the precipitate adsorbs one of the ions of the electrolyte on its surface. See, this is total precipitate. This is total precipitate. Here liquid is there. This one only. Little bit resolution is increased, means zoom. Then this is the precipitate which is surrounded by Na plus ions. Okay. Then from this surface, small particle, this one will come out with surrounded by Na plus, like this here also. See, I am going to read this one. During peptization, the precipitate adsorbs one of the ions of the electrolytes on its surface. This causes the development of positive or negative charge on precipitates. That is depending on the nature of electrolyte. Okay, which ion will be getting adsorbed. That is depending on the nature of electrolyte. Okay, on its surface. This causes the development of positive or negative charge on precipitates, which ultimately break up into. So, because of this generation of electrolyte, positive charge, this precipitate is broken down into small particles which are in the range of colloidal solid. Development of positive or negative charge on precipitates, which ultimately break up into small particles of the size of a colloid. You will learn about the phenomenon of development of charge on solid particles and their dispersion in section 5.4 4.6 in this class only under the heading charge on colloidal particles. Okay, that one only I said in next coming classes you will get that one also. What about the charge of colloidal solutions? In properties of colloidal solutions we will see now. Okay, this process is called peptidization, and that agent which is added is called peptizing reagent or peptizing agent. Okay, important. Process important as well as peptizing agent also important. Okay, ma'am? Is it clear? So, suspension will be converted to colloidal solution by the addition of suitable agent. That suitable agent is called peptizing agent. Generally, we will say that suitable agent as electrolyte. Okay, this is about preparation of colloids. Total 3 techniques are there. First one, A, chemical methods. Second one, B, electrical disintegration or Bredig arcs method. And third one, peptidization. Okay, I hope you understood the preparations of colloids. No? Next we will see purification of colloids. Okay, before starting off that one, observe this one all of you. Okay, shall we see the purification, man, all of you? Okay, see, start with the next slide heading, that is purification of colloids. Till now we have seen preparations, ma. Now we can see that purification of colloidal solutions. First, some theory part is there. After that we will see the process. Colloidal solutions when prepared generally contain excessive amount of electrolytes. Sometimes by mistakenly the electrolyte which is added in peptizing agent, peptidization process, little bit more excess might be present. Little bit more excess might be present. In that conditions we need to purify the colloids. See, colloidal solutions when prepared generally contain excessive amount of electrolytes and some other soluble impurities. Some other soluble impurities might be present. Okay, while the presence of traces of electrolyte is essential for the stability of colloidal solution, definitely little amount of electrolyte is required for the stability of colloidal solution. But if it is excess present, okay, see that one only. While the presence of traces of electrolyte is essential for the stability of the colloidal solution, larger quantities coagulate it. If that electrolyte is present in larger quantity, coagulation means again precipitate will be formed. That one you will see in charge on colloidal solutions. At that time you will be getting clarity. Okay, now this causes the while the presence of traces of electrolyte is essential for the stability of the colloidal solution, larger quantities coagulate it. It is therefore necessary to reduce the concentration of these soluble impurities to a requested minimum. That means little bit minimum we have to a minimum quantity we have to reduce that one. The process used for reducing the amount of impurities. Now they give the definition. No? The process used for reducing the amount of impurities to a requested minimum is known as purification of colloidal solution. Is known as purification of colloidal solution. The process of reducing the amount of impurities, okay, to a requested minimum is called purification of colloids. Simple thing only. This purification generally also will say that removal of impurities only. Okay. The purification of colloidal solution is carried out by the following methods. So what are the methods we are going to follow to reduce the amount of impurities or electrolytes present in the colloidal solution? First one is dialysis. Under this purification, A, dialysis. Okay. It is a process of removing a dissolved substance from a colloidal solution by means of diffusion through a suitable membrane. Since particles in a true solution can pass through animal membrane, we are going to take animal membrane. is totally contained by animal membrane only. Dialysing membrane. This dialysing membrane contains colloidal solution. Which is kept in a water bath. Through this inlet for water, till here water will be there. Through this outlet for water. Continuously this is connected to inside inward tube, and this is outward tube. Water will be passing through here and it will be going here, excess water. Okay, outlet. Now what is the thing we are going to say? This is the water level up to here. It is process of removing a dissolved substance from a colloidal solution by means of diffusion through a suitable membrane. Okay, since particles in a true solution can pass through animal membrane. See here, through these pores of animal membrane, through the pores of, here small pores will be there. Through the pores of animal membrane, impurities which are K plus ions, Na plus ions are very small particles. They can pass through. But colloidal particles they cannot pass through. Colloidal particles are bigger particles, na? Colloidal particles are bigger particles. They cannot pass through the dialysing membrane. Only impurities they can pass through. Here the technique is impurities will be smaller than colloidal particles. Impurities will be smaller than colloidal particles. Is it correct? Because of that, these impurities they can pass out, and continuously this water will be running down. Along with that water they will go out. Now let us see. Since particles in a true solution, these are all particles in true solution only, very small particles. They can pass through animal membrane or parchment paper or cellophane sheet, but not the colloidal particles. The membrane can be used for dialysis. The apparatus used for this purpose is called dialyzer. Okay, a bag of suitable membrane containing the colloidal solution is suspended in a vessel through which fresh water is continuously flowing. This is inlet and this is outlet. Continuously fresh water is flowing. The molecules and ions diffuse through membrane into outer water, and pure colloidal solution is left behind. In this, only pure colloidal solution will be left behind. Okay, this process must not be continued for a long time. If you go for a long time, all the electrolytes will be gone out and we are remained with only colloidal particles, again which is leading to coming together and formed as a suspension. If it is happened by the process of peptidation, in the presence of the peptizing agent only it will be stable. Correct or not? Entire electrolyte if you remove, again they will come closer and they will be formed as a suspension. So for some time we will do, because of that some impurities will be removed, and we have to get some minimum amount of electrolyte inside, till that the purification will be done. If you do continuously for a long time, total electrolyte will be removed and no longer colloidal solution will be stable again. Okay, if excess amount of electrolyte is present or no electrolyte is present, colloidal solution is no longer stable. These are all like leophobic colloids. Leophilic means anyways they are stable only, no problem. Okay, this is about first technique, that is dialysis. Draw the diagrams also, all of you, in your notes. Okay, if you are very much clear with this dialysis, we will go to next purification technique, that is B, electrodialysis. Electrodialysis. Let us see. B. Electrodialysis. Okay, I am going to read that one now. Ordinarily, the process of dialysis is quite small and slow. Actually, this is also dialysis only, but we are going to increase the speed of dialysis process by using electrical energy. That's why this is electrodialysis. Okay, in what way? By applying electric field. These electrolytes contain some charges, na? these electrolytes contain some charges. Without any opposite charge outside, they will move slowly. Now what we are going to do, same process only. We are going to apply electric field from outside or inside. This is positive charge and this is negative charge. Okay, in the presence of this electrical energy, what is going to be happen? These electrolytes which contain some charged particles, they will be attracted towards the negative charged plate very fastly. They will not move slowly, they will move fastly towards one side. According to that, they will go through the walls of the membrane and they will come out easily, fastly, and the process will be fast. Okay, just to increase the speed of dialysis, we are applying electrical energy. Let us see, I am going to read that one. Electrodialysis. Ordinarily, the process of dialysis is quite slow. It can be made faster by applying an electric field. If the dissolved substance in the impure colloidal solution is only an electrolyte, means some charged particles might be present. Okay, that might be positive charge or negative charge. Because we are applying both charges, no problem. The process is then named electrodialysis. The colloidal solution is placed in a bag of suitable membrane while pure water is taken outside. Electrodes are fitted in the compartment as shown in figure 5.10. The ions present in the colloidal solution migrate out to the oppositely charged electrodes. If this is contained by K plus ions, Na plus ions and Cl minus, the Cl minus ions will come like this because here positive charge is present. K plus and Na plus ions will be moved towards opposite charged plate and they will come fastly out. To make the process little bit fast, this is happened. That process is called electrodialysis. That is only application of electric field. Because of that application of electric field, the impurities which are present in colloidal solution, those are electrolytes, those will be attracted towards oppositely charged electrodes. Then if they are attracted little bit fastly, they will come towards the membrane out and they will be coming out fastly. Okay, this is about electrodialysis. Okay, and one more purification method is remained, that is ultrafiltration. That ultrafiltration in next class we will see. Ultrafiltration and properties of colloidal solutions. By maximum next class we will complete this one. Okay, ultrafiltration and properties of colloidal solutions. If you are going to complete, the chapter is going to be completed, surface chemistry. Okay, this is about today's class. I hope you understood the class. Today what are the topics we have seen? In today's class we have seen how we can prepare the colloidal solutions by using three techniques: chemical methods, second one electrical disintegration or Bredik's method, and third one peptidation. Okay, after that we started with purification of colloidal solutions. Under purification of colloidal solutions, first method we have seen dialysis, second method we have seen electrodialysis. Both are same only, just electrodialysis is nothing but we will increase the speed of dialysis by using electrical energy, that is anode and cathode electrodes. Okay, these two processes we have seen. We are remained with one more process under purification, that is ultrafiltration technique. That will in next class we will see, and we will go for properties of colloidal solutions. Okay, under properties of colloidal solutions, charge on colloidal solutions also will be coming. Hardly small topic will be remain, and day after next class by day after tomorrow's class we will complete. Okay, this is about today's class. I hope you are clear. This is included with maximum theory part only, so majorly you have to remember. No logic. Correctly, if you remember the process, you can write them in exam easily. But easy one only. Chapter is easy only because catalysis is removed. That's why. Okay, ma? I hope you are clear about the class, ma? Okay, everyone. That is about today's class. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you all.